Namaste, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Ken at 10. How are you today? If you haven't been here before, why not? Come here every day, weekdays at 10 o'clock. We are James Alexander Estate Agents. My name is Ken. That's why it's Ken at 10. And we broadcast every day live from our offices in SW16 London. And that is Norbury. And if you're wondering where that is, it's between Streatham and Croydon. And of course, it's the best part. We're a Zone 3 commuter area with a lovely bunch of people. And if you're looking for something that represents a good area in terms of ability to commute and value, very, very hard to beat us, you know. That is locally in London, obviously outside of London, different story, but we still love London in spite of people saying they're now able to telecommute. Things will get back to normal one day, we hope, if our European friends don't restrict our supply of the vaccines that we've already ordered before then. Very frustrating, but at least one benefit that's come from Brexit. So how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Here in Norbury, the weather is a little bit warmer, actually. It's currently spitting and very light rain, grey skies. Looks like it's going to be one of those days. Seemed a long one, this, hasn't it, January? I don't know if you feel that way. I suppose a lot of people do. Sort of so different and so weird. And it's still one of those times where through your whole life, you could never have anticipated anything like this. Of all the things you'd think about in your life, this is so strange, isn't it, timing-wise? A few things today. A Manchester estate agent has gone and blown it for most estate agents in the UK. They've sent out a leaflet suggesting the coronavirus pandemic is a blessing in disguise. JP Brimlow in Chorlton, Manchester, said the property market had fared very well. And it said their area had increased by 8.4%, which was very impressive indeed. Gosh, that's crass, isn't it? I mean, of all things to say, they've now apologised and said they got it wrong. Yeah, you got it really wrong. And you've enhanced the reputation of agents being crass and uncaring, and that's a sad thing because there are plenty of agents out there that do care, that do want to do the right thing and do want to support their local communities. Up the independence, that's what we say. So a few other things going on. Sellers deterred by the end of the stamp duty holiday. This is an interesting one. Zoopla have said that the supply of homes for sale has dropped sharply, and the reason being that people are not confident about meeting the deadline, and the overall supply of homes for sale was 6.4% lower than last year, and the high levels of demand and processing delays mean the average time taken for an agreed sale to complete has jumped from 90 days to just over 4 months. It doesn't mean you can't make it, though. As I mentioned recently, one of our sales that was agreed mid-December completed a week ago. So it can still happen. It does rely on lots of factors being efficient, including mortgage lenders and particularly solicitors. And so it's possible, but it's tight. We've got a big pipeline that we're pushing through at the moment, and we're doing everything within our power to make sure it happens. As I said yesterday, I believe that, you know, people are saying everything will fall through if the deadline is not extended. I don't believe that's the case. People don't do this lightly. They don't move house for fun. And if they can make it happen and still afford to do so, they'll still move. Yes, there may be concessions, and there'll be all sorts of intelligent ways of trying to work around it, and some sales will fall. But the vast majority, I believe, will complete before the deadline. And those that don't, I think many of those will also be perhaps renegotiated, perhaps not, but certainly proceeding, because people will not want to go through and jump through all those hoops again. They want to get on with their lives, you know. This is a big step for people to take. Many people moving areas, many people considering, as a Zoom generation, new locations and excited about living elsewhere. That's not going to change just because there's a little bit of stamp duty disincentive one way or another, in my view, but we'll see. Low deposit mortgage sales have collapsed. This is an interesting one we've been talking about for a while now, if you've been watching the show, in that first-time buyers are really struggling to get mortgages with low deposit percentage loans. And today there are just 221 home loans for buyers with a 10% deposit or less. Less than a third, sorry, that's 10% deposit, not less. You can't get any less than that. And less than a third of the number this time last year. And that doesn't really paint the whole picture either, because to get those loans, A, you've got to be jumping through so many hoops you probably can't, and B, the rates that they're charging are prohibitively high, and this is where the government need to jump in. We've been saying for some time. I doubt that they will, but if you really want to help the housing market, help the young, help the people get on to the market at the bottom end, and you'll find that frees up the flats in the middle. And guess what? They'll want to buy houses, get some outside space, and everything will move along. But you need to support the bottom rung of the ladder. You know, the stamp duty break was great, Rishi, but you need to think about first-time buyers, and not just for new build houses, because people can't afford them. The second-hand market needs your support, and it needs it in the help of first-time buyer assistance for everybody to get 95% mortgages. Please, I know you watch, Rishi, so listen carefully. You'll learn something before March the 3rd, maybe. Apart from that, there's a new Havering have just brought in selective licensing for landlords. Another local authority jumping on the bandwagon of being able to charge landlords because they can. They're charging £900 per property, £900 per property in the middle of a pandemic where landlords are not receiving rent anyway. Absolutely disgraceful. And really, in my view, if you're going to license landlords, that's one thing. And I'm not actually against that in general, but I think what should happen is it should be central. It should be central government that handling this, because otherwise local authorities will look to milk this to their own gain and not necessarily to the benefit of the market as a whole. I think central government needs to get a hold of this and get a standardized selective licensing scheme for properties in the UK. So we all know what we're doing. It's all the same across all boroughs, and that would help to standardize the market and would actually make the supply of properties throughout the UK better as well. Because at the moment, you've got some areas with ridiculously high selective licensing fees, and that's deterring new landlords from investing. And that's in turn increasing rents and reducing availability for the very people that need that supply. And, you know, when you've got that supply limited and then you've got increasing costs, those two compounding is the perfect storm, isn't it? So I think they need to think about that, and they need to get rid of selective licensing per borough and start thinking about a nationwide scheme. Apart from that, generally what we're finding is what they say is true. We echo that. You know, there aren't so many vendors coming onto the market to sell. When properties do come on the market in certain niche price ranges, particularly as you might have guessed, up to 500,000, we're finding lots of popularity around that market and lots of people wanting to get on. So we're finding we put a new property live, bang, the phones go. And then that one goes, it's quiet again. So there we are. Anyway, hope you're having a great day today, and we'll be back same time tomorrow. I think we've got a little technical difficulty with the camera at the moment for some reason, but if you can still hear me, hope you have a fantastic day. That's it for Ken at 10 today. We'll be back same time tomorrow. Stay safe.